Hello, welcome to my fourth intermediate C# game making tutorial. In this tutorial we're going to be creating, well, what's known as the lift method, and this is going to be, well, we've already detected which peg is selected, so in other words this will be 1, 2 and 3. Now we just need to detect whether or not a peg or a disc can be lifted. If it can, then we need to start moving it about until it's released and drop it. So we need to create a lift method. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So just outside all the other methods, we need to create a public void method called lift, and we need to give it an argument called int peg. So what this does is it's saying, right, we're going to pass in the peg that is selected, and we're going to lift something from it. So this is quite tedious and long drawn out, so forgive me, but you're just going to have to copy this out. So we're saying, okay, so if peg equals 1, then we're going to do the following. So if peg 1 0 is not equal to 0. Now, what this means is, you remember at the start, okay, we wrote, I'll show you actually here, up here we give peg 1 4 values. This is the values of the discs that are on it. Now, this is the very top one, so what we're going to check is, okay, if there is a disc in the top position, then lift it, okay, and this is going to be, remember, in integers you start off as, this is element 0, this is element 1, 2 and 3. So even though we've got 4 things, it only starts at 0 to 3. So we're checking here, okay, if the top one is not equal to 0, then we're going to lift it. So we obviously have to say disk pick equals peg 1 0. Okay, so because this element in the array, if there's something in it, will hold the sprite number, or the sprite number. So that identifies the disk. I apologize for how hard this is to understand. It's harder to teach. So anyway, previous peg, we have to set that as well. This is going to be equal to 1 because, well, peg is equal to 1. And then we also need to set peg 1 dot 0 equal to 0. Okay, so why is this? Well, we're saying that, okay, there's a disk being picked up, and that's going to signify the sprite number that needs to be moved. Okay, previous peg equals 1. This means, okay, you've lifted this up. However, if they set it down in an invalid place, we want it, whenever they let go of the mouse, it's going to snap back to the place it was. So this is going to be the previous peg, which in this case is 1. Then we need to set peg, the position that it originally was. It had a number in it. We need to set it equal to 0 because it's not there anymore. So we need to let it know that that space is free. That space is free to set another disk down. Okay. So yeah, we need to then write an else if, because we want to make sure it obviously if this one is set to 0, then the next one is going to have something in it. We need to make sure it's else if rather than just if. So else if peg 1, and then this time will be 1, is not equal to 0. So in essence we're just doing exactly the same as above, only checking the next one down. I'm just going to copy this because save me some time. We need to change this to 1, and we need to change this to 1. Okay, now again I'm just going to copy this and change this to peg 1 2, and make sure you do this right. If you have problems in your code, this is probably why, because you've got these mixed up, so be careful. And then the last one in this section is going to be 3. Okay, so like I said, this is going to check to make sure to see if there's anything that is able to be picked up, and if there is, what is able to be picked up. So well, this, we have to do this for all 3 pegs. This is only for the first one. So we need to change this to if peg equals 2, so I just copied and pasted all that, and we need to change peg 2 to peg 2. Previous peg has got to equal 2. This has got to equal 2. So this is just a long drawn out process of changing all of this again. It's very annoying, but this is, it has to be done if you're gonna, if your program is gonna work. So this is just saying that, okay, this, if you're lifting something off the second peg, then you have to do this. Sorry, I'm nearly done. Just make sure you change the right ones. Okay, and then last but not least is peg 3. So it goes peg 3, then do that. Okay. It'll all be worth it in the end whenever you've changed them all. It'll work fine. All being well. Okay, and I do believe, let me just check. Yeah, that is all that needs done for the lift method. I know that might take a minute or two. I'll just check my time. 6:49, fine. Okay, now we need to go back to this method here, or the update method. Now, what we need to set here is, okay, so we've said, moving on from what we just did there, if the mouse is pressed and there isn't a disc picked, then we want to make sure that there is a peg selected whenever the mouse is pressed, and if there is, then we want to set a disc. So we do lift, and remember this method required an integer, which is exactly what the get peg method provides, and this is to select what peg you're lifting from. So that is, well, that is the basis of our game so far. If you run it, you still won't be able to do anything, but it's actually selected this one. I think I have time to show you how to move the sprite. So in this one, this is what's going to happen. So whenever you click and drag, it'll move. So let's move sprite. Now, because it knows which sprite we've selected, in the disk pick variable we can use disk pick, and it's going to equal mouse x. Okay, now we're going to just center the sprite to the mouse. So sprite width, disk pick divided by 2. This is just for aesthetics. Now you might want to copy this because we're going to have to type it out again pretty much. Only change it to mouse Y and to sprite height. Okay, and let's run this now. Let me just make sure, yeah, that should be right. Let's try this now. So what it's going to say is, okay, run the program. Whenever I click up here, nothing happens. If I click here, however, it's saying, right, peg 1 has been selected, and on top of peg 1 is this little disc here. So let's move it while the mouse is down. If I let go, well, nothing happens because we haven't programmed that far yet. But if I let go of here, after the next tutorial, hopefully, whenever I let go, it'll snap back to here because it's invalid. And if I let go here, it'll drop all the way down to the bottom here, or all the way down to the bottom here, depending on which peg I select. Okay, so the game's coming on very nicely so far. So check out my next tutorial, and please subscribe. And next tutorial we're going to start programming a bit more complex things again. So thanks for watching.